Okay, so the term implicit bias describes what's happening when we hold stereotypes or beliefs about different types of people without having any awareness that that's what we're doing. The first step for all of us is to understand what kind of bias we have. This might make you nervous because you don't want to find out something about yourself that you're not proud of. I get it, me too. But here's the thing. Every human being has some kind of bias. We are wired that way. One researcher has even referred to implicit bias as an equal opportunity virus that gets in the mind of anybody, regardless of their own group membership. Those of us who are white tend to breathe a little easier in these conversations when we find out that people of color have bias too. I think it makes us feel better that we're not these horrible people. Of course we're not. And that's not really the point, because being a nice person isn't going to end racism. Remember that racism is bigger than just our individual beliefs. It's a system of laws, policies, and practices that were created to benefit white people, and they still do today. This system is all around us, and it's always been there. And because of that, we don't always notice it. But once we start to better understand racism, we can begin to realize how the power structures and images we've seen on a daily basis for so long have planted deep seeds of bias in all of us. Essentially, we can think of our bias as a byproduct of systemic racism. And if we don't interrupt it, we keep the system running. And here's something else, and this is really important. While it's true that all people hold bias, I need to remind myself that my bias, as a white person, can have a much more damaging effect on people of color than their bias might have on me,